Welcome back to the Prez Podcast. It's been a long time, and we're just happy you could join us. We're going to do our playoff predictions this week for the first round of the NFL playoffs. We hope that you had a great holidays and everybody got to spend some time with family and do some fun things. Uh, but we're excited for this part of the NFL season. It's the playoffs, baby. What's not to be excited about? We got 14 teams vying for that wonderful thing called the Lombardi Trophy. So we're just going to do picks for each game. I'd like to do some more content regarding the coaching, the 8 open coaching position. Well, wait, only 7 now. Now that Jared Mayo is taking over for Bill Belichick in New England. But a lot of discussion to happen in this off season, and we'll probably start with some coaching videos. But let's get into our NFL playoff picks. We're just going to go through the schedule as it happens. We obviously are recording this after the change in the schedule with Buffalo and Pittsburgh getting moved to Monday due to inclement weather. I'm sure all the Miami fans are wondering why not the Kansas City game when it's supposed to be 20 degrees below. Good question, and I really don't have an answer. I'm guessing it's just because there's not as much precipitation, so they're not worried about people getting stuck in traffic, just dying of hypothermia. Anyways, so let's get into it. Kian is here to join me as always. He's going to give his picks as well. And let's get into the first matchup. We have the Cleveland Browns, the fighting Kevin Stefanskis, going in to Houston to face the surprising winner of the AFC South, the Houston Texans. Now, this is a great matchup. These are two teams probably we weren't expecting to be here in the middle of the season, or Houston, we were expecting them to get 8 wins. So for them to win the division is a great story and a great story for D'Amico Ryans and their coaching. Uh, they may have had more wins if C.J. Stroud doesn't get a concussion and sit out for a couple games. For the Browns, they're literally starting their fourth quarterback, and that fourth quarterback needs to be a no name other than old Joe Flacco. But since he came on, even though they've had a rash of injuries on both sides of the ball, the Browns have looked unstoppable. So this is a great game, great matchup. Excited for both fan bases, but I'm going to go with the veteran here. A veteran who has a lot of playoff wins, has tons of road playoff wins in the NFL, and that's Joe Flacco. He knows what he's doing. Him and Kevin Stefanski match up really well. The play action pass is working beautifully. And let's not forget that Cleveland went into Houston a few weeks ago and beat them by 15 points. So give me the Browns to beat Houston. A little closer game this time, 27-23.
This is actually, I think, a pretty tough game to pick, and I do think it'll be close. Houston is at home, and these are two surprising teams, and so we don't really know how they're going to play. And Cleveland has looked really good all year, and Texans, they have had some ups and some downs, but overall they've been playing like really good when they have been healthy. And for this game, I am going to take the Texans. I I do think this will be an upset. I think it will be a very close game, but I just don't know how the Browns are going to play. I do think if the Texans can get their offense going and their defense plays good enough, they will be able to beat the Browns.
Okay. All right, next up, in the winter effect that is going on in Kansas City, like I said, it's going to be super cold, and it's for some reason going to be on Peacock. There's one way to enrage NFL fans and make your games hard to watch. Not sure what the NFL's decision was to put this game on Peacock. I don't even know if we're going to watch it, honestly. I'm sure we'll try to find a way, but it's a very, very silly decision, and I don't agree with it as many people don't. But let's focus on the game and not the NFL's horrible decision. Not only to play this game in the frigid cold, but also to put it on Peacock. And also NBC naming your channel Peacock. Do better. All right. So these teams met in Germany, nonetheless, earlier in the season with Kansas City pulling out a 21-14 victory on the back of a defensive touchdown. Kansas City scored no points in the second half. A lot has happened since then. Miami is dealing with a rash of injuries. Two of their best players gone for the season now. Even though Jalen Ramsey is back, for Kansas City, they're more adept at playing at cold and not playing in South Beach. So I think this game will probably go in their favor. I know their offense hasn't been great. I think this is really going to be a defensive struggle. I do think the game will be low scoring due to the cold. I think it'll be hard to throw the football. I don't see how Tua is going to play that well in the cold. So I got the Chiefs winning 24-10 at Arrowhead.
Although the Chiefs did really beat the Dolphins last time they played, I don't know if I can trust their offense in this game.
We going different on the first two picks? Okay, keep going.
I mean, I think this again will be a very close game. Uh, they're really the Chiefs. They do have a pretty good chance of running away with this one. And but the Dolphins, if 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 their defense plays well and the Chiefs' offense, if they don't adapt and they don't play well, if they don't run the ball, if they don't pass well, I don't know if they're gonna be able to win this game. So I'm picking the Dolphins.
Wow, wow, wow. Two upsets. You took two upsets back to back. All right, maybe we'll agree with Game 3 in Dallas. Green Bay coming back to Dallas. Now, Dallas has some playoff nightmares when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. We all remember the no catch with Dez in 2013. We remember a few years ago Aaron Rodgers coming there and beating the one seed Packers led by Dak Prescott. So this time it's a little different. I feel like the Cowboys are better suited. I feel like they're playing a Green Bay team that is an upstart team but still has some issues on defense. I really think that Dallas is going to be able to move the ball at will. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to have a big game. I think they're going to utilize the middle of that field, really attack the seams. I look for this Lamb and Ferguson to have big games, in my opinion, and really rely on the short passing and just move down the field. For the Packers, I feel like they're going to be able to score some points. You know, the Cowboys are susceptible to some big plays and stuff like that. Look at that Seattle game that happened a while back. So I feel like this game will be maybe our highest scoring game of the weekend, but I still think Dallas will take it. And you know, Dallas has been undefeated at home and put up a lot of points this year at home. So give me Dallas 38-24 over the Green Bay Packers.
I also think the Cowboys will win.
There we go. There we go.
I just there is some talk that the Packers could win, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to choke this one. I think they've just been playing so good and consistently. I don't think the Packers are going to be able to hold on, and I think the Cowboys' offense will play well, even if their defense doesn't hold up as much as they should. I do think their offense is going to be the better offense for this game.
Okay. Okay. Next up, the matchup. This is probably my favorite game this weekend, and that is the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Detroit, Michigan to face the Lions. And that place is going to be rocking. It's going to be loud. Matt Stafford is coming back to town. It's an exciting game, an exciting time with a lot of interesting things going on in it. So I'm pretty excited for this one. I think this is also going to be a high-scoring game. I do think defenses have played well in spurts, but overall just not great defensively, and I think these teams will have some things lined up for them. The problem I see in this game for the Lions is if they get behind. Goff is not great at getting a comeback. If the Rams get up early, I think this will be a struggle. There's been a few games this year where the Lions have gotten maybe a 10-point deficit, and they've started to turn the football over or be aggressive on fourth down, which we love to see Dan Campbell do, but it's made their comeback a little more difficult. And part of that is they don't trust their defense. So I think this game will be close, kind of back and forth, but I do see the Rams coming out on top. Sorry, Detroit fans. I know you've been waiting a long time for this. But give me the Rams, Matt Stafford throwing dimes to Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and Kyren Williams running down their throats. I got the Rams winning a close one, 31-27.
I do think this will be a very offensive game. Two teams that haven't been known for their defenses this year. And I do think it might just come down to who gets the early momentum. And if the Lions don't get that momentum, then there is a very good chance that they will lose. They could turn over the ball, be too aggressive, and if they don't succeed on those fourth downs and they don't come back, then I don't know if they could win. However, I I do think the Lions will get the momentum. And I do think that they will play well and be a consistent offense in this game. And I think in a close game, they will come out on top.
We've been different on 3 out of 4 picks already then. All right. Number 5, the one that's been moved to Monday. For those of you that actually have Monday off, observing the holiday, this is great. Doubleheader, 3 doubleheaders in a row. For those of you that have to work like this guy, unless it gets snowed in, cross your fingers. I'll be, hearing about this game after work. But that is Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Buffalo, after being 6-6, won 5 straight to get all the way to the 2 seed in the NFC. Has a chance to have back-to-back home games. Pretty exciting considering how down this team was. Obviously, they fired Ken Dorsey, their OC, and things got a little different. By the way, offense didn't change that much numerically. Maybe their defense played better. Kind of funny. I feel like Pittsburgh, they went through Trubisky. Obviously, Kenny Pickett had his ups and downs. They put in Mason Rudolph, and all of a sudden, it's not that the passing game was great. It's they were to run the football all of a sudden. Run the football consistently. Najee Harris started having really, really good numbers, using Jaylen Warren not only in the run game but the pass game. Feel like their offense had really some balance. And the problem for them is no T.J. Watt in this game. Now, they do have some other good pass rushers and Alex Highsmith and the rookie Nate Herbig, but I just don't think that it's going to be enough. I think Josh Allen's going to carry them in the snow. I think that Buffalo will win in a low-scoring affair. Give me Buffalo 21, Pittsburgh 13.
As much as I want the Steelers to have an awesome upset, I do think the Bills will win. I don't really know how much of a chance the Steelers could win, and the Bills are just the better team, and I don't know if the Steelers offense is going to be able to hold on. So I do think the Bills will dominate this game and advance to the division.
Okay. All right. Last game, the Monday night game. It is the Fighting Baker Mayfields, or Tampa Bay. I'm calling Baker Mayfield because he's kind of brought this team to a above 500 record. Remember, they were in the playoffs last year at 8-9 and lost to the Cowboys. This year, they're at home with a 9-8, winning that NFC South. There's still a lot of issues. I think Mike Evans will be gone next year, so this could be Mike Evans' last home game in Tampa Bay. Exciting for a guy that really deserves a lot of credit for how great a receiver he has been. But they're playing against an Eagle team that is desperate, downtrodden. I don't know what any average of you want to do. You can use them all. Let's not forget, after 11 weeks, this team was 10-1. They finished down the stretch 1-5 for the last 6. A.J. Brown is not playing this game. Knee injury, he's out. Jalen Hurts has been banged up, and they've had 2 different defensive coordinators calling plays for them, and it doesn't matter. Neither one of them looks good. They've been destroyed on defense. With all that said, they have immense talent on that team and immense talent on their roster, and they have a lot of pride. I think this game will be close. Maybe the closest game of the weekend. But I think Tampa Bay pulls it out. Give me the Bucks, 21-20.
I do think this will be a very close game. Although the Eagles have a much more talented roster, they just haven't been playing well recently, and you don't know if you can trust them. So the Bucks, they do have a really good chance of winning this. However, I don't know if I can trust the Bucks.
Okay.
And I do think the Eagles will pull this one out. I just don't know if I don't know if they're gonna let themselves go home in the wild card. And I think the Eagles will pull this out.
Wow. So we picked 4 games differently. It'll be interesting. Interesting to see what we're talking about next week. And we'll be back next week to do picks for the divisional round. Hope you guys have a great weekend watching football. Be safe, and thanks for tuning in. Take care.